Greetings. This is Scholar Saunders seeing what's current. Start off with a update from Sunday. I usually do my Sunday updates, but I'm doing on Monday. A recap, I guess, of what happened on Sunday. I said I was going to a dedication for a young infant, and it was at I guess you call it a non-denominational church. It's not necessarily part of the canon of most other churches. Um, But it was interesting because they didn't sprinkle any water. They didn't do any baptismal thing or anything like that. They did like the stretched out hand and looked kind of like the Nazi salute. They had they say put hands over the child, and it just seemed to be a ritualistic kind of activity that goes on. Um, so it's Hey, Baja Jackson, what's going on? Are you a gentleman or a ma'am? Your name doesn't ring female or male. Let me know who you are. I respect your dollar. Thank you very much. You've contributed to this show, so I definitely respect your dollar. Salute. Respect your dollar. Let me know if you're a male or a female. I can't go. I'm guessing you're a male, but I'm not sure. Not 100% sure. But like I was saying, it was a very very mystified. That's all I can say. It was a very mystified event. Um, but that's what Christians do. Christians are like that. And I've said this time and again. If they're 95% in the world is are believers, not atheists like myself. If this were a world where these believers didn't have some sense of goodness about them, then we wouldn't have a world. It would be complete anarchy, it would be complete death and murder and blood in the streets. That's how nasty it would get. I'm a man. Good to go, Baja. Good to go. All right, you're a man. All right, just wanted to make 100% sure. All right, so Baja Johnson on deck, a supporter, gave me money. I'm asking for tens and twenties. Matter of fact, let me put that into him right now. Today's goal, $80. Like I said, if you do 10 and 8 more people do 10, or 7 more people do 10, that's 80 right there. If you do 20 and 3 more people do 20, or one more, yeah, what's that? Yeah, times three, 2, 4, 6, 8. Yeah, if 3 more people do 20, then you're gonna have 80. So that's what I'm looking for. Tell other people about this live stream. Tell people about this show. I come on at different times for research, just like Mr. Troy Star Terrain does. He does it in the afternoon. I do mine in the early morning, sometimes on the weekends, sometimes late at night, sometimes at rush hour. People get off of work. Doing it now at lunchtime. Go figure. So I appreciate the 2 people in the room right now. I think Maha Jackson and another person. And there's 2 likes, so I appreciate the likes. Thank you very much. But okay, so got done with the christening. Uh, it was very simple and straightforward. They prayed over the child and in their fashion, in their way. They're very dedicated to that, so you have to respect it. I may not like it. I don't like the fact that people are believing something that doesn't exist, but I have to respect it. That's the key element there. You must respect it. You can't go into churches and knock over their lecterns or podium or tear down their walls or anything like that. That's completely out of the realm of rationality. You can't lambaste people and call them names and say that they're idiots or stupid because they believe in God. Again, that's irrational. That's not selfish and that's not rational. So the best thing you can probably do is just be respectful to other people. Let them know there's an alternative. All right, thank you, Baha Johnson. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I'm not taking fives, but I'll take your five because I understand that you put in enough work to give you that. So today's goal is now. It is now $75. Thanks to Baha Jackson. Y'all can be like Baha Jackson. At least he didn't give me $1. I will not. I'm trying to find a way how you can send back $1 donations, but I'll take five. I'm really looking for tens and twenties. Tens and twenties are my thing right now. Trying to get to that 80 so I can get to 160, so I can get to 320. You know how this is going. 640. What's 640 times 2? It's really simple. I have no idea what it is, though. I'll look it up. 64 times. Looking it up, folks. Bear with me. So 1280. That's what I'm looking for. I'm gonna try to get up to 1280 and just coast. I'm not there yet. I'm gonna still work on it. Still, going. But we have to go to the lecture at hand. The lecture at hand is very serious. Very, very serious. Krayzie Bone of Bone Thugs and Harmony is in some serious condition. He is in a very precarious situation where he has an issue with his lungs. One of the arteries, I think, burst. If I'm not mistaken, he has an issue where one of the arteries leaked blood in one of his lungs, and he's coughing up blood. It suffers from a condition called sarcoidosis, and it's a quote unquote from the article, a rare inflammatory disease that causes the organs to become covered in lumpy nodes called granuloma. So he is definitely, fighting for his life, as they say on the headlines. He's Krayzie Bone is fighting for his life. Krayzie Bone is fighting for his life. Yeah, I mean, it's a very serious situation. He's found himself in. This is another example of how rappers can be in a condition, without being shot. They can have a natural health scare like this one. He's not breathing on his own. He has a ventilator that feeds him oxygen and is keeping him alive at the moment. He was just recalling just this past summer how signs were put up honoring Bone Thugs and Harmony in their native city, Cleveland, and the fact that somebody went up and stole one of them, and he was just like, "Hey, that's Cleveland. That's how harsh the city is in some areas around where they grew up." So it is imperative that we focus on the idea of not praying, of not keeping him in our thoughts. Let's not do that. That's what most people will say. Keep him in your prayers, keep him in your thoughts. Pray for him. Even his fellow Bone Thugs and Harmony artist, Busy Bone, he stated that, pray for Krayzie on his ex, formerly known as Instagram. He said, pray for Krayzie. Excuse me, not on X, Instagram. Pardon, clean that up. On Instagram, he said that. But this is a very severe situation, not to be handled lightly. not to be taken as uh, something that is light and airy and hoppy and fresh. It's something that has to be considered with all due respect. I mean, they had their huge hit. They had hits along the way for the love of money and also different. Wake up! It's the first of the month. They had some hits, but their mega hit was "See You at the Crossroads." That was a major hit, super hit, great video. That was a timely video, and it used computer animation, and it just was a groundbreaking commercial for their song. Because we have to remember that videos aren't art; they're commercials. They can look like art; they can have all the elements of art, but they're essentially promoting the song, the art. That's art. Um, so Crazy Bone has a long way to go. The doctors are working on fixing, I think, the artery that is leaking blood, and he's still under the gun right now. Sadly, he's not literally. Hopefully, nobody's coming at him with a gun anymore at any time. But during this illness, he has to consider himself, uh, a very important figure in the hip hop culture, in the hip hop genre. I guess it was, at the last fading parts of being a culture in the mid 90s. It was a full on culture in the late 70s, early 80s, throughout the 80s. And at the last breath, it became just about the genre in the mid 90s. It was just bubbling up. It was growing economically. And Crazy Bone was a part of that whole, factor, part of that whole position. Because, with Bone Thugs and Harmony, they created something that was, not really seen too much in hip hop. Singing rappers. Hello, Drake. Like everybody says, oh, Drake is just singing on the record. He's just singing on the record. You had other people. I mean, there's other acts, obviously, uh, that had um, that sang on the track. I'm trying to find out who else was. Houdini, they sang on the track. They're a rap band. They're a rap group. So, I mean, they just elevated to another level with the different literal harmonies and their different voices that coalesced and made something that was new and astonishing and profitable. Because Crossroads sold oodles of money. I mean, oodles of physical albums, physical singles, physical. They weren't streams at the time, so it was the literal cassettes and maybe even vinyl at that time, but cassette CDs and things of that nature. They were definitely in that category. So Crazy Bone, he's one of the real ones. He is definitely one of the real ones. He he put in the work, and a speedy recovery is not enough. He just needs to get back out because if I'm not mistaken, let me see. They are on. Here's a quote from Crazy Bone. With hip hop, I've been blessed to be here, to be quote unquote, to be here at the beginning, to watch and see every phase that it's went through. I'm excited to see what the next 50 years is going to bring. Hip hop is definitely here to stay as a music genre, but it's still so young. I just want to see hip hop mature and be more kind and respectful to the artists that carry this genre. I want to see a balance between artists and corporations. It's still young, but it needs to mature a lot. We need to realize and understand how to treat all legends like other genres of music. So he didn't even mention that it's like a culture. He said he delineated that it was definitely a genre. Um, he noted that there were two other signs that were put up, but he didn't. The person or persons didn't bother to take them down. But he said that's Cleveland. They put up signs on both in the streets. He said no worries though, all love. Now that might go against the idealism of objective hate. Um, saying it's all love, because the streets have no love. There is no love in these streets, as you can see. People take down signage and act like that's something that's a good thing to do. How is that even possible? How is that even something that's supposed to be looked upon as rational or good? So you have to have the idea that there's a point where Crazy Bone can be seen as one of the best to ever do it, the best ever to be in the group. And it seems like we don't prize Bone Thugs and Harmony enough, because we don't really single out which bone, I guess you can say, was the best. Is it Busy Bone? Is it Lazy Bone? Is it Crazy Bone? Did I miss a bone? But sincerely, Crazy Bones, he's going through it, and this is the time not to pray. There's no prayer that can do this, and that's the thing with Christianity, with the belief in God. They say anything is possible, but why can't a leopard give birth to an elephant? Why isn't that possible? Because there's no God, because there's no miracles, because there's no sense of irrationality in that way. So you don't pray for someone. You don't say, I mean, you can. I'm not saying you can't. I'm not going to make an edict saying that all people that pray must be punished or something like that. That's irrational and wrong and terrible and vicious. No, what I'm saying is the fact that we have a young man, still a young man. He just turned 15. He's about to turn 15. Let me make sure. Is it? Yeah, Krayzie turned 50 in June, so he's as old as hip hop. So if you take into account all the different people he's impacted over the years, millions of people, because they had a totally different approach. They're gonna rap, but they're gonna sing with the rap. They're gonna have a rhythmic and a melodic flow to their rap schemes, and that may not have been unprecedented, but it was welcome. In a totally different frame of what hip hop and rap could be. They definitely showed that they could be something that is of greater quality. That's what's the most important part about all this is. And for Crazy Bone to be in this very sad situation, it calls for more science, more reason, more thinking, more thought. Because saying words into the air isn't going to get it done. Because that's what you are when you pray. You're just saying things out loud. You're just thinking with your words moving out from your lips. Or you're not really thinking. To tell you the truth, you're feeling. You're using emotion when you pray. So we're entrenched in that, though. We're embedded in that ideology of wanting to pray first. It's the first thing they think of. The believers and all the people that are faithful. You got to pray. You got to pray. You got to pray. And for what? Either one thing or the other is going to happen. Not just saying Krayzie, but I'm saying anybody. One, you pray for the person. They come out all right. All right, L Boogie's in the house, but you're gonna have to come up with some heavier weight, sir. You're gonna have to come up with some heavy weight. Respect. No money. Oh. You might have to get out of here then, my friend. Tell us some no money. What you mean no money? You typing on a Samsung or an Apple phone, or you you pay that bill? I'm sure you got a little bit left over, don't you? I'm still saying it. Respect the goal. Still saying it. Yeah, I will support your business. What do I need to do? Give me all the information. I gave you my I can give it to you again. It's here we go. I'm gonna do you one more time. I'll be happy to. You can't come up with $1 donations like that anymore. It's either tens and twenties. That's all I'm looking for. You can. I will happily support your business. Definitely, we can get this cracking. But uh, ha- praying is the last thing to do. It's not actually. It's not. It's the only thing not to do. The rationality of the scientists of medicine. That is it. Because like I was gonna say, you have two choices. You can pray for the person and then they live. And you say, hey, there's a God. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. In the name of the Father, in the name of the blood. And you're so happy and you're great. Then you say, oh my God, I prayed for the person and they sadly perish. I'm not talking about crazy. I'm not talking about anyone. And they sadly perish. They passed away. Oh, it was his time. God needed him more. And you can't, there's no, you prayer is always going to say something. You going to buy some. I will probably buy some products. Yes, yes. It depends on how the quality is, but I'll promote them. I'll definitely promote your products, El Boogie. Definitely on the show. I've got 283 subscribers. So if I have just a quarter of them, you know, uh, on there, I'll do it. Yeah, your products. Yeah, I'll support you. I'll look into all your different products. But yes, that's the thing with God and faith and believing. You can do anything. You can say anything. You can do anything. Well, El Boogie, send me something in the to a PO box or something like that, and we'll be good. Send something. You got men essentials and all right, that's cool. Make sure you drop that money. You go and buy. Like I said yes. I will buy some of your products, depending on the quality. I will. I will do that. Will you 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 going to send $10, $20 to my Cash App? That's the real question. That's the real question. Um, Lake Essential. Okay. All right. Not really finding it. Hold on. Let me make sure I have it right. Lake 3 Essentials. Okay. Lake 3 Essentials. Not really finding it. You send me a link. Send me a link, and then we'll be cool. Send me a link, L Boogie, and that'll help things out. But like I said, they've made Christianity especially the forerunner for belief system because the most people in the world believe in Christianity. Because the other faiths are too quote unquote selfish. Are these views what attracted you to the Star Report, or did he inspire you to be a godless heathen? No, he was the one. I owe Troy Star Terrain full credit for my non-belief in God, my affirmation that reason is the only means of gaining knowledge, and that individualism is the only way of being an end in oneself, and that capitalism is the only social social system of justice. That's what I learned from Troy Star Terrain, and he introduced me to Ayn Rand, which strengthened my philosophy that I'm going to present in 5 years. So be on the lookout for that. But like I said, Christianity especially, they can say anything they want. You say anything, it doesn't matter. It's like the person lives, great, yay, hallelujah, thank you, Jesus. The person dies, great, hey, hallelujah, thank you, Jesus. They're in heaven now. Everything is wonderful, and everybody goes to heaven. And there's not one person that says, you know what, he didn't repent, he didn't live the life he was supposed to. He's going to hell. Let's have this funeral and make sure we let people know he is roasting and toasting in a fiery blaze in hell or in the lowest levels, frozen to death, in position for all of eternity because he was a rascal and a and a heathen, as Baha Jackson just said. I said, where'd you send the link? Did you send it to my email? I'll check. Gotta send it to my email. I gave you my email already. So there's that. But no, you don't pray unless you want to. Hey, I say I'm not going to pray. That's better. Let's say that. That's better. I will not promote anyone saying that they're going to pray. If you do, that's your choice. I respect it. I can, definitely understand it. I did it for 16 years. Once you're entrenched in the Baptist church, especially, it's very hard to break free. But when I did, it was like, why didn't I think of this earlier? Like, I've been doing this my whole life almost, and I'm just discovering this. What? Some people never discover it. Live their whole lives, 90, 100 years. Never fully discover the facts and reality of and the truth of being a non-believer. And not just a non-believer, an atheist who understands that reason, individualism, and capitalism are the only ways to live. They're the key tenets of what it means to be an objectivist. It means to be somebody that's of substance and someone of character. And that's what I struggle to be with every day. I make mistakes, but not moral breaches, and not irredeemable moral breaches at that. I I make sure that I am able to contend with all the thoughts and ideas that would go against my own set of convictions, not beliefs, but a set of convictions. And that's what I've done. That's the part of what I have figured throughout my life, and that's something that's important to me, something that makes me understand better what it's like to be a man of color who happens to live in America, who's in a minority of a minority of a minority, a man of color who's an atheist, also an objectivist. So there's that. All right. If you don't know what time it is, I'm waiting for everybody to get zeros. I'm waiting for all to go down to zero. It's that one viewer right now, but it especially goes down to zero during this time. But hey, speedy recovery is not enough for Crazy Bone. One of the architects, one of the builders, one of the pioneers of hip hop, and he definitely needs to be cared for and scientifically, cared for, and uh, allow the doctors to do all their work and everything they can, not inspired or motivated by some god or some deity, but by rationality and epistemology or science of reason. All right. Ruler of the kingdom of the air. It has come down to this. We got 2 days left. 2 days. I'm sure they already judged it. I don't know what they judge it as. They probably have somebody in number one position right now. That's all I care about. I don't want silver or bronze. I want gold because I earned it. And that's the flip side. It's like I don't want gold because it brings me prestige or will say I can be boastful about it. I just want to say it because I earned it, because I have deserved it, because I can say that I put in the time and the hours to ensure that was the best story ever to come out for this challenge. So I need you to, if you can't donate money, at least read and share this story, which is right in the live chat. You can see it in the link. Just click on that link and read it and share it and let other people know. We got 2 days left. So this is the final countdown. All right. I'll probably get a copyright strike for that, but um no, it's very important to me. I got 3 people in here. It's gonna go down to 1 and 0, I'm sure, but um I'm very glad about it. I'm very happy with it. No matter what happens, I know what I'm gonna do. When I told you it's gonna go down to 1, it's gonna go down to 0. Um, I told you what I'm gonna do. Well, actually, I didn't tell you what I'm gonna do. But prepare for this. Prepare for some serious action coming my way. I'm probably gonna lose subscribers. I'm probably gonna lose. People are gonna tell me, "Hey, man, why you go so hard? What's going on? Why are you doing this?" Saying all this stuff, and that's all right. I want that to happen. I'm looking forward to it to happen. It's just that crucial. It it's something that I think is very important and emblematic and represents something beyond what just is on the page. It's a whole philosophy that's grounded in it. It deals with issues of mysticism. It deals with issues of commerce and capitalism. It deals with issues of thoughtfulness. It deals with all kinds of issues. Anything you can think of, it deals with it. So I'm very proud to present this story as something that is going to live on well past my death date, you know, before anyone else can come up to me and say, "Hey, man, that story you wrote? That was awesome." That enlightens me. That makes me think more. That makes me want to struggle harder. Or I didn't understand that one part, but yeah, I like the rest of the story. That was good. Like something like that. I enjoy that. I reap great benefits from it. I'm trying to get this money, but if I get just those comments like that, that's something special to me. That's why that's why I agree with. That's why I can understand. That's what gets me. That's why I try to make possible in my mind. I don't want to be a somebody that's cynical or completely or over sarcastic or Use it. They say use sarcasm. I think Iran said use sarcasm like you use salt, just as sparingly. That's a great quote. If you use too much of it, it's like it's gagging. You can't even eat it. But you put in just the right enough salt, it can bring out the flavor even more. But getting back to the story, RKA, ruler of the kingdom of the earth, air. I don't know, I'm messing up. RKA, ruler of the kingdom of the air. Let me get that correct. It is, my precious child. I'll let out into the world, and we're seeing if it will have enough weight. Because I've noticed with my other stories, I have 3 stories that placed, and their numbers were not off the charts. They didn't care about how many people read it. They do take into account that, though. Like I said, if there's a tiebreaker, they're going to go with the one with the most views and the one with the most reads. That's what they care about. They will go with the one with the most reads. So it's something that you have to really focus your attention on and keep grinding. That's what it is. It's all grind. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm grinding. I'm grinding to shine. I'm making sure all you and out there in that intersphere, internet atmosphere, all just what I'm working with. What I'm working with is writing. That's the whole point of this show, really. I made it into that. I'm going to promote my stories on this show. I said that, months ago. And that's something that, a lot of other podcasters don't do, including Troy Star Terrain. He doesn't write fiction. I respect that. And Dr. Jerome Brook, he doesn't write fiction. I respect that. They both are authors of nonfiction, but not fiction. I'm a fiction writer as well as nonfiction. But I think the fiction is better. Hold on 1 second. It's a little dark. I knew it. I knew it was a little darker in here. Had to get a little bit more light. I got enough time. Wasn't exactly at the last minute. But that's what I like. That's what I enjoy. I enjoy creating characters. I enjoy creating plot. I enjoy having a theme. And I engage in style. I have my own style. What is that style? It's a style of fulfillment. And I think that's what's most important. The fulfillment of the soul. That's my style. Whether they, lose or gain, it's still a sense of fulfillment, no matter what. And that's the toughest part for me. It really gets me, excited to sit down or stand up. Even, they always say sit down at the computer or your typewriter or your desk or you got your steno notes or your pen and pad. But sometimes I'm walking through the house and I'm just typing on the pad on my phone. And I can send that into the air and people read it and I get money. Nobody talks about that though. Nobody ever says that really. You can read, you can write on the screen. You can be and be a literal screenwriter, but you can also be a dramatist. Just write plays. You can write novels. You can write short stories. You can write whatever the hell you want. But at the same time, you have to recondition yourself. You have to condition yourself to be more understanding of the mechanics of writing. It takes time. A lot of it I have to give credit to is from my school days. They gave me the understanding. They gave me the introduction, the rising action, the climax, the falling action, and the denouement. I have that in my mind every time I'm writing something. I didn't have the best education. I wasn't the best student. I was a solid C- student. I can show you one day my transcript from high school, and I think the highest I had was 2.8. That was about it. And if that was it, that may not have been even it. But no, I wasn't that astute of a student. I wasn't that great. But I always looked at pop culture and things that weren't of school more so. That's what interested me. My favorite author besides Ayn Rand for fiction, um, Toure. I mentioned this before. His stories, his novel, all inspired me, all motivated me. He had a site that's still on the Wayback Machine on Internet Archives. If you visit it, you should go onto it. It's Toure.com, and he has a whole library of ways of how to write and thoughts on writing, and um, his some of his works that he did for Rolling Stone and other magazines and periodicals. I mean, that just inspired me more and more. People like Jon Stewart and Stephen Colbert, and of course Troy Star Terrain, and of course Conan O'Brien. People like that all inspire me. And the late night people and people in the early morning. It was early morning and late night. I don't know, in between. But they all inspire me to, because they're all writers. All of them. All of them are writers in some fashion or way. They've all written something, for the screen or the page or something like that. And when I was introduced to objectivism and further understood, who Dr. Yaron Brook was, and Don Watkins, that's a great one because Don Watkins, he is a supporter of hip hop, and he is an objectivist as well, and he writes fiction. That's really cool to me. I think that's cool. That motivates me. Oh, that's the best I can do. I have to stare like this, El Boogie. I have to look like this, and that's just like this is crazy eyes. It's not going to get any better. That's as best as I can do, because these lights they have to illuminate my face, but they're making me squint at the same time. Until I get that, that's what I'm talking about. I want to get the right amount of lighting and a proper position to do this show. Um, then I would do that. That's what I'm asking for 10s and 20s, so I can probably can have enough money for to eat and drink and have clothes on my back and have a place roof over my head, and at the same time have streaming services and stuff like that. But I want to put this into the show. I want a microphone. I want lighting. I want all kinds of things. I want this to be streamlined and professional. Right now it's ramshackle and amateurish, to put it lightly. You sound like trying to be Star. I can't help it. I don't know what else I can be. I'm just myself. Like I said, I just told you right there, Star. How many times did Star say I'm gonna talk about my fiction work, something like that? That's not sounding like Star. He doesn't do fiction. Just saying, Boogie, and you're not coming up with money. Baja Jackson came in with a $5. I'll take the $5. He came in with $10 one time. That's $15 on his name. You came in with $1, and I wanted to send it back, but I didn't know how to do it. I don't know how to send it back, but I need at least $10 or $20 out of you, Boogie. Definitely $10 or $20, and I'll look into your link as quickly as I can. I still haven't. I don't see it anywhere, by the way. I don't see a link for whatever your essentials are. But that's just the facts. That's just part of my reality. That's the truth that I exist in. If people say I sound like Star, if I look like Star, I'm a Star's illegitimate son, and all that stuff, that's cute. But the fact is, I'm my own man. Stars Troy Star Terrain, Mr. Troy Star Terrain is his own man. And I have to respect that fact. I have to give him tremendous respect because he was the one that put me onto this. I wasn't going to do this. I was like, you know what? It's been like a decade since I did it. I'm not going to fool with it anymore. I'm cool. Let YouTube be YouTube. But then it happened again. Amen. Say again. Okay. All right. So then it happened again. He said, they got to see your face. They got to hear your voice. And I was just like, all right. So I do the first show. And it's like 535 views. I'm like, what? That was crazy. What? How many? That's wild. So, long story short, and concluding on that remark, I had just over 2,000 views, on April 14th of this year. Now it's September 25th, and I have over 20,000 views. So it multiplied tenfold. I mean, that is just amazing to me. That could happen, but I'm not surprised. I'll put in good work. I'll make sure I research and do all kinds of things of that nature. Well, I appreciate that, Elboy. You can help out, with the 10s and 20s as much as you can. I'm sure. I know you're not talking on a coconut and a string wire. You're using the YouTube feature on your mobile device that I'm sure you pay for at least $50 to $80 a month, something like that. Unless you got Cricket or cellular, what is it? One cellular or something? I can't remember what it's called, but yeah. So it's fun. I like doing this. It's a good time. It's a good time. It's fun to me. I don't like. Oh, I gotta go in and do this and do that. I don't feel like doing it. I feel like doing it every time. It feels great. You have 110,000. That's great. That's wonderful. If I had had this already in the works, because I had the channel since 2006. If I had this in the works in 2006 up to now, I probably having 2 million views or more, at least. So there's that. I appreciate everything and everyone that supports my machine. Yeah, even more, exactly. Yeah, so like I said, hey, L Boogie, if you don't want to do the 10s and 20s, I'm sure you have a lot of friends. I'm sure you got bros and homies and, Ace Boon Coons. All, if you have them, you can tell them, at least tell 3 of them and leave the 4th one wondering what's going on. Leave them in suspense and then have them try to look it up on their own. That's my key. That's the key to my enjoyment. But ruler of the kingdom of the air. I get sidetracked sometimes. But ruler of the kingdom of the air is all about selfishness. It's all about sticking to an idea. It's all about being purposeful. It's all about reconnection and discovery. All these little ingredients, are baked into a narrative that keeps the mind engrossed and wondering what's happening next and where is this, plot going to go and how is it going to unfold. That's what's so important here. That's what makes me, feel well up with joy, depending on whether I win or not. And I'm saying I win or not whether I place or not. When I get that first place, idea, first place, assignment, when I'm assigned to the first place, then I'll be, fully engaged in the idea of writing. Or if not, I know this could possibly not happen. I already have enough I have an arsenal of material ready and waiting on my charge. Ready and waiting. I have an arsenal. I'm just gonna send out and send out. You'll see. Yeah, I'm telling too much right now. I'm telling on myself. Telling on myself. What am I doing? People don't understand. I'm just, pointing out the fact that we have a great amount of people that are, taken into the idea of, oh, good, here we go. There might be one person in the room. It should be El Boogie. Might be Baja Jackson, but El Boogie's definitely in here. I think. YouTube can't tell. Whoever's in here, tell me how many people you see in the viewer count. Whoever's in here or not. Okay. RKA, ruler of the kingdom of the air. Now I know I've heard that before. The title is inelegant. It's got two of those in it. But they're not worried about, sending me, money to better understand the ideas of creating titles. They're not worried about that. They just want, knock down people, knock down ideas and thoughts. And that's fine. I can take the hate. I make like I said, I make mistakes all the time. I have to use my first brain, as they say, my first mind. That's usually the one that gets me out of trouble and keeps me on the right side of the tracks. Cliche, so to speak. On the right foot. Cliche, so to speak. But I do look into the reality of all the people that are definitely helping out and exploring all these different ideals. That's what's so important to me. That's what I think is a great way of conveying to people what it is I do, what it is that I fashion for my own self, what it is that I try to take on and bring into the situation. That's what's so important to me. That's what's so engrossing and entertaining, even to me. It brings me joy. It's joyful. It's work. They say, Gwendolyn Brooks said, writing is delicious agony. Well, I think it's just agony or just delicious. Now, I mean, I don't get. I mean, when I think about it, I don't get those ideas. The closest thing what Ayn Rand used to call the squirms. When you have an idea that's conflicting with another one and you're not sure exactly where to go with it, those are what she called the squirms. She didn't really get writer's block, quote unquote. She didn't really get that sense of, completely, a dearth of ideas and thoughts to put down on the page. I mean, people have that for years. There are authors that have not picked up a pencil or opened their keyboards or typewriters in 10, 15 years due to writer's block. But it's different. It's similar, but it's distinct from the squirms. Squirms is just you in between a sentence or a few sentences or a paragraph, and you're not exactly sure how it should be placed. You're not quite sure how it needs to be expressed. That's where it goes to. And that's what's happening now. With so many different distractions. Come on, you got the internet. A lot of people, take off the internet. I'm not giving them a commercial, but there's this device that is showcased on YouTube, on Facebook. That's it's away from pop-up ads or advertising and emails or notifications or anything like that. You just write and the screen pops up and you just keep on going. You don't have to worry about anything intruding into you. Until they give me a check, I'll give them. I'll be able to, let them know all day what the name of this product is. But I haven't got my check yet, so oh well. So it's extraordinary to me. It's extraordinary that I have one person in this room. I usually have zero. That's extraordinary. I'm talking about writing and the art of writing and the understanding of what it means to be a writer, which means just to write, writer, one who writes. Simple as that. That's the power that you have behind with the pen or the typewriter or the keyboard, the keypad. That's what makes it amazing. That's what makes it so helpful to your mind state, to your mental self. And that's to go back to, they said, people say, oh, well, I didn't write it, God wrote it. I was just inspired by God. Okay. So you're saying you had all these ideas and you put them down on the paper and on the page, and it's just it's you and God. That is the most, you know, dangerous way of thinking possible. Completely dangerous. But I respect it. I respect it. It's dangerous, but I respect it. Because it's like all these people around the world, if we had the idea that most people don't believe in God, it would be even better world. Science would be championed most likely. The arts would be championed most likely. And have a greater understanding of what we are as human beings. And people get scared now. AI's coming. AI and will artificial intelligence really do that? I don't really call it artificial intelligence. I call it learning machines. Will learning machines really be able to do all the tasks of humanity? I wonder. I question. The human soul is on its own. It stands alone. It doesn't use algorithms to determine whatever is produced. Those are facts. That's the truth about all this. So when you have, people that take on the mantle of what it means to be a true trailblazer, or somebody that, completely is groundbreaking and earth shaking, and that is a valid point. People say, the Bible wasn't written by man; it was inspired by God. Is that right? Is that true? All those books, everything like that, some mystical force inspired people to do it. Well, I'm glad that Ayn Rand was inspired. No, I've never written a book. I've never written a book that's been published, Boogie. But here's, what? I'll give you my site where you can read my stories. Just a moment. Just a moment. That's how you can see it. You can see all my stories, every last one of them. See every last one of my stories. I would appreciate it since you don't have the fun. If you don't have the funds, at least celebrate and Pass on the stories to your friends and family members. Let that be known. Hey, it's been an hour. Respect to the doctors and the medical professionals who are over Krayzie Bone. I'm not saying a prayer or thought one. I'm saying for the scientific minds to collaborate and deliver a wonderful outcome for Krayzie Bone. And I appreciate everyone who has been able to do this. Um, Make sure you read Ruler of the Kingdom of the Air and get back at me what you think, because there's only 2 days left for the countdown. I appreciate you. I'll probably see you tomorrow or later on today. Thank you very much. Take care.